What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Itunu if you're seeing me for the very first time, and this is...
I'm Ini, and it's definitely been a while.
Yes, absolutely. Especially if you being on my channel, it's been ages. From my previous short, you guys already probably know that I am preggers. On Instagram, I did share a bit of a short story taking you guys through when we found out we got pregnant. If you haven't checked it out, feel free to check it out. This is the longer version. So I know this is going to be a bunch of people from Instagram mostly. But yeah, so this is the longer version, and I have this man here to explain certain things to you guys. Because to every story, there's multiple sides, right?
Yeah.
I guess we can jump in.
In your real, basically insinuated that I was taking a minute to process.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the truth. But for me, it wasn't secrecy in terms of, oh, don't let people know we're pregnant because of village people, those kind of things. Like, no.
Disclaimer,
Yeah. For me, it was more of like...
internalizing.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to get to the point to say that I was ready. You know, like she said in the reel, it took me about 2.5 years, right?
Yeah.
Before we got married, actually, we had this discussion about babies, and I know Itunu loves babies, like I've always known, right? And me, we're just two in my family, like two siblings. I just have one other sibling. So I didn't grow up around a large family, and I don't have that much experience with like nieces, nephews, kids.
Cousins.
Cousins, yeah. Some
Younger
cousins'
cousins
kids.
that you babysat?
Yeah, I didn't babysit anyone ever, you know. So like kids have to grow on me. So that sounds bad, but
Sounds horrid.
But actually, what I mean is like I'm not used to it, right?
Yeah.
So, but I know she's used to it and she loves it. She's taking care of her sister's 3 kids, you know.
Yeah.
And but
cousins.
I just wasn't like there yet mentally and emotionally and everywhere, right? So we had this agreement that 1 year in we'll start trying. Lo and behold, like maybe 6 months in, instead of having a discussion, like, oh yeah, I was like, auntie, excuse me, we agreed to wait a year. So let's stick to it. So we did. After a year, I wasn't there fully, but
You were not there fully, period.
yeah. And I think I did voice it out.
Yeah, you did.
So you knew, but you were like, okay, well, let's just see. Whatever
let's see how it
happens.
goes.
So I don't think we really started trying to like when it now became a thing of like, you know, church people or other people were like, are you people trying or are you people not trying and all that stuff, you know. I think that was when it kind of like became a thing.
Yeah, I mean that was not really for you. That's not
Nobody.
Like for example, like I'm the one who personally dealt with it because I don't know why people just believe that the person that shows the evidence is always the one to blame for whether or whether or not you are pregnant.
Because now you be the evidence gone.
Exactly, and it's so stupid. Like for example, someone came to me at church and was like, what's going on? I said, people are not trying. I'd be like, are you doing something? I just felt like so ambushed. I felt attacked. I felt like if you really did care about us when we got married, you should have asked us, oh, how are you guys doing? Like, oh, do you need anything? You never ever cared about it. And then when you don't see a bump in my belly, you're like so concerned because you care.
Yeah, especially because you don't even know our financial situation. You don't know our plans. You don't know, you're not privy to any of those information.
You're just projecting.
So you're like trying to, like she said, projecting a certain timeline that is socially agreed.
Under the guise of care.
Yeah. And you could also just be trying to get gist to know how far, whether there's any problem.
Which is even worse.
That being said, we just believe that people care for whatever reason they can. It's not even my problem or our problem, you know. But
they don't care.
It didn't come to me. That nobody came to me to. I think guys don't really face that. That's another discussion found that the guys don't really face those kind of like stigma or like pressure about kids or no kids. You know, it's usually the ladies, and I think that it's also because ladies might be prone to wanting kids. Most guys are like, I want to get my shit together, I want to make money, I want to do this, before I can now start thinking about kids and all that.
So during the time when we're waiting, he was mainly doing the waiting. I was on the side hoping that something would happen miraculously. I mean, like, we're not really doing anything to prevent it. We're just not like also intentional about the timing and blah blah. So like almost every month in my period I'd be like hoping like, oh, maybe this is like, I think I took like so many tests because I just like hoping for that. Oh, oops, it just happened. But it didn't work out like that, and I'm very happy, and you guys will know why.
Yeah.
There's perfect timing for everything. So
Absolutely. When the kids come, like they're here, you can't delete them. You cannot
you
send
can't
them back.
delete them.
You cannot take, like, you can take breaks, like, but you cannot undo what you've done, basically. So it's kind of like it's not even kind of, it's a permanent decision.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I wasn't there yet, and it was not only just financial reasons. Many people only take the financial reasons,
But it's very
there's-
important.
Yeah, financial reason is
You
important,
don't
but
just
there are
do
also
that for
other
no reason.
reasons as
Absolutely.
well. Like, are you ready to be able to? Are you ready to take on that responsibility
Yeah.
full time?
Yeah.
Because it's a full time job.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think it took us a total of 2.5 years.
Yeah.
To really get to that point where we're like, okay, cool.
I feel like I was the one. Not I feel like I think I was the one holding us back from actually conceiving. I was going back and forth, Nigeria, Netherlands, and then after staying here for the first time, and I went back. So my niece, my sister's daughter, she's just so sweet, and we just really bonded. Spent time with her and all that. And I feel like
when we bought in spoil.
no.
You're like, I want my own.
So I feel like just like taking care of her, being in that space to be responsible for a child, like I'd never had that experience, kind of like opened me up emotionally and I guess mentally as well to get to that point. And I remember while I was still in Nigeria, I just had this thing like, I think I'm ready. I want my own kid as well. I want my child or my children, and I think I'm ready. What I just said to you one day randomly, I just said to her that, babe, I think I'm ready.
And I was like,
for our kids.
Oh, really? At some point, like it's natural for your African parents to be like checking to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we have really, really supportive parents who don't
absolutely.
put pressure on us. They don't stress us for anything. Like they literally just like
very
show genuine care. And I think one day my mom asked us, like, oh, are you guys trying? Are you ready? Or you're still waiting? Like it was really an open-ended question. It wasn't kind of like, oh, why are you guys not having kids? Like, oh, was there a problem? It was very genuine, honest. Like, oh, are you guys ready?
And I think we were saying with my mom as well.
Yeah, your mom too.
And it was, I feel like both of them are praying moms. So the question was the purpose of prayer, because I remember your mom, and I think my mom also said the same thing, that we're asking just so we know how to pray.
How to pray. Let's not go and start praying, oh God, let them have kids when they're not ready. So they want to pray in agreement with us.
Yeah.
So, and it coincided with the time where we had actually had that discussion where we're like, okay, we're ready. So we're like, we're ready and things like that. So
we're tracking back to how we felt like maybe we might have some medical issues as well.
Like, because remember I said we were not really doing anything to prevent and they say if you just do like normal for a year, somehow something will enter. But
that was the case.
somehow nothing entered.
That wasn't the case.
So we're a little worried, in as much as we're like, okay, let's start trying now. We're also like, oh, like it's not like we've not been trying or we've been trying. It was just like, I hope there's no problem, essentially. Like, because we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna start trying. Once we're settled, and if nothing happens by the end of 2022, by beginning of 2023, we're going to go in to get medical assistance, medical checks, just to make sure that everything is in the right situation, the right position,
But when we were just newly married, so I went to a program in you came to visit here, yes. And I went to Redemption Camp, and I was in a meeting, and randomly one guy sitting close to me just turned to me and then asked me if I was married. I said I was married, and then he said that he got a word from me that there might be, or there will be, I said there might because I never agreed with it, but he said there will be some delay in conception from mine. And I told Itunu, but I told her that, I think I told you that all he said is all he said. God did not tell me that. So I just said that was in his pocket, in the sense that, like, I don't despise prophecy, right? But I didn't agree with that. Maybe, sometimes if it's negative, nobody wants to agree with anything that connotes a negative, like, but I didn't fully agree with that. I just made sure that, and sometimes just that thought to come up in me, like, is this a prophecy fulfilling itself or something like that? But I just never like assented to that, and I never like said, okay, this is it. But I think a couple of times I prayed to God about it, and I was like, God, I don't believe that this is going to be the case with me and my family. I believe that at the right time, in the right way, it will happen. And that's what I always said to you, and so now it's like, was that prophecy real, or I don't know?
Yeah, I
what
mean, like, there
going
was a
on.
delay.
Yeah, there was a
you know.
delay. Well,
For you, it was not a delay. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, perfect timing.
exactly.
There was a time when we went to visit my parents.
Yeah.
And that was when my mom actually asked us, like, oh, are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, yeah, we're ready. So she's like, we should kneel down. And I still remember, like, we
Yeah,
knelt
I remember
down,
that day.
and she laid hands on me,
And
and
daddy.
her laid hands on you.
Yeah,
And
both of them.
They
Yeah.
both prayed, like, my mom and dad both prayed for us. I can't remember word for word. My Yoruba is not fantastic, but she said, wah finu show you wah or something like that. It means like you carry your
go carry
kids and you back them.
Yeah.
You know how we Africans do it.
Yeah.
So like it was like really heartfelt and everything, and then we just went about our business as usual.
Yeah.
And Ini had come back from Nigeria, I think around
September.
end of September.
Yeah.
And I had planned a surprise trip for us to Las Palmas because we have been apart for like 4 months, right?
Yep.
And I was like, oh, it's really nice for us to just go away and just have a good time. And I did that. I didn't tell him where we were going. Told him we were going to a hotel, and it's close to Schiphol.
First time I came, there was a hotel we went to, so I assumed
Yeah,
that it's
so
going
he
to be
thought
around
it was
that
going to be
area.
exactly, and that was around Schiphol.
And she just kept feeding that. She didn't even
Yeah,
try
I
to
didn't tell him
dissuade me or
anything.
anything.
And I took your passport, everything. I'm just like
So
the
you feeling
best.
slick.
Just like the best.
And I was looking for my for some reason I was just
You
arranging
were
the
really
house the
pissing me
night
off.
before.
This guy was looking for his passport the night before. Passport already passed.
Yeah.
I was just so stressed because I was like, oh my god, this guy is not going to rest until he finds his passport. And how will I bring it out and show him that it's safe, it's safely kept? I was like, oh god, you know.
I don't even know how we solved it.
Somehow
but,
you found it where I kept it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I just kept it for ID in case we need to show ID at the hotel. And I said, like,
Very slick.
Oof,
Like I said, she was
was
very
smooth.
slick.
We got to the airport, and he was like, are we going on a plane? And I was like, what do you think? He was like, you remember?
I feel like hard talks right now, like, because that sincerely might have been one of the happiest days of my life. Because no one has ever like planned that kind of a surprise for me, up to that like extent, you know. And it just like it was really, really good. And that day I remember I had like my cheeks.
Yeah, you were smiling so much. You're like, my face hurts.
Yeah. I still feel it in my heart. Like,
Really?
somehow.
Nice. So I told him where we were going, and he was like, oh my gosh, you know, it was really fun. We went there, we had the best time. It was just so chill. We
ate like fools.
we ate like mumu.
There was something that happened on that trip that was really weird. We kept seeing 2 and 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, we talk about that. So
yeah, that was
on that trip, like we just kept seeing 2 and 3. So first off,
our seats were 23. Our gates 23. Baggage claim 23. The bus took us to the bus took us to the it was just like 2 and 3. We were like, what's going on? Like, and both of us, like, we just had this feeling that it had something to do with us and our kids. Like just from nowhere, you know, things that are just not normal or natural.
Yeah.
When you don't, there's no explanation for why you feel this like that. We just both just instantaneously
noticed
knew
it.
that it was relating to that. And I think it's just basically the year that we're
like
literally gonna have our kids.
Like, you know, there's this stuff called numerology. 7 is the number of perfection.
Yeah.
It has different numbers.
I know that thing,
so
I don't know the
one night while we were in Las Palmas, I actually like just Googled 23 and it said something about new beginnings.
Oh, you didn't tell me this.
Really?
No.
I think I did mention it. Maybe you just didn't remember.
Maybe
I would have mentioned it to you because it was like it was so weird. 23, 32. It was just a combination of 2 and 3 in different ways, you know.
Yeah.
But that 23 was actually a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. We're like, what was really going on?
Our room was 4023. Yeah. So, anyways, so he said also talking about new beginnings, you know, and
I guess this is a very, very new beginning in the year 2023.
Absolutely.
After we got back from Las Palmas, we were just like, you know, we got back home. There was this particular day I was on my way to work, and on the trains, at that time, some craziness was going on with the National Rail. Trains were so busy because the drivers were going on strike. So some trains would just be cancelled back to back. So the trains that eventually would come would be so packed with people that to the point where you can't even pivot, like you can't turn around your own axis, like you literally just stay put, you know, and you just be begging God that, oh gosh, let's get to the next stop so that the doors can open and air can enter, because the windows were not the ones you could open. It was so hot and stuffy, and I was so conscious of like breathing in air from people that are sick and things like that. So I would still wear my mask. I don't know how smart that was, but I still would wear my mask. So I'm just like, let me just do my due diligence, you know. And it was just really bad. So on this particular day, this was probably the worst one, and it was on the train, and the conductor was already announcing that if you're feeling ill, if you're feeling dizzy, if you know you cannot, you're not able to stay in the train anymore, please offload at the next stop or something like that. And I had one more stop or two more stops at the time, so I was just like, I'm gonna make it to my stop, but I was feeling dizzy. I was feeling lightheaded, and it got to a point where my vision was just going like white. My ears are like ringing, like, you know, that high pitched sound. And I was like, hey God. And I was just like, I could feel like my knees were caving in, and my weight was just like, I was just crumbling under the weight of my body. And I was just like, God, I remember just praying like, God, please let me just get out of this train. And eventually the doors opened, and I just managed to stagger out of the train onto one of the benches on the platform. I was so freaked out. I was crying. I called you, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this thing just happened to me on the train. I don't know what it is. So he was like praying with me. He was telling me like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Just rest. Don't rush to the office. Just take your time and recover. So I sent a message to my colleagues telling them what was happening with me and that I was gonna be late. I was debating whether to go back home. I was like, so will I now go back home in a crowded train, or just go to the office and breathe air? So it was like, I don't know. It was a catch-22, exactly. So I just told my colleagues, and someone was like, okay, they're gonna pick me up. And funny enough, the best I could pick me up was like, are you pregnant?
Are you sure you're not pregnant?
Like, are you sure you're not pregnant? I was like, bro, like in my mind, I was like, what kind of questions is this one asking me? But at the same time, I was like, no, as far as I know, I'm not. I got to the office, and then shortly after, I just told my supervisor, I was like, bro, I can't make it through the day. I need to go home. I'm not feeling great. So I went home. It was off-peak hours, so the trains were less busy.
So they met you at the station?
To meet me at the station. We got home, and then I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, this and this happened to me. And she was like, oh, we should come to her place. Come to her at my dad's place and just chill for the weekend. And my mom was cooking, doing nice food for us, healthy stuff, making smoothies, giving me the colors of the rainbow in smoothies. It was really nice. It was a very chill time, and I was just having really bad tummy aches, back aches. Like, do you remember, like, in the middle of the night, I would just be crying, like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. Like, you know, you and Dad went to the store, and they got me some iron.
Your mom recommended.
My mom told them what to get. So she got iron, they got folic. And when they came, my mom was like, okay, so this is what you're going to be taking every day. I was like, yeah? Folic hazard.
And Itunu is not a big fan of swallowing tablets.
Yeah, I'm not, I mean, but it was fine that they were really small.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, oh my gosh, she just bought me folic acid. Imagine. This woman probably thinks I'm pregnant. Oh God. Like, the disappointment of thinking I'm pregnant, only for her to realize that she's not pregnant, you know? The weekend was over, and I was like going back to work and things like that. But I still was not feeling myself.
Yeah. And I remember you told me something that you're really worried, like you feel like you don't understand what's happening with your body, and you don't like that.
I just didn't. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. So that was really stressing me out. And another thing that was worrying me was that I was hoping I was pregnant, because if I'm not pregnant and I go to the doctor and they tell me we don't know what is wrong with you, then I'm more worried. Because we don't know we don't know what the problem is, and we can't know the solution because we don't know what the problem is. So we booked an appointment with the doctors. We went there and told her everything that happened with the train incident, told her I was also a little bit constipated, told her about the tummy aches and things like that.
It's so funny now in hindsight. So you did the urine test?
Urine test for pregnancy. But I told her my period was not due in 5 days. It's not rocket science.
And then she now goes, you're not pregnant, you're just constipated. And then she now recommended some crackers that we had to go and look for. Look for this thing.
She said I should just eat it and I'll be alright.
It's so funny now, you know. It's
like, I go and shit.
Imagine someone tells you you're not pregnant, you're just constipated. That's a diss, man. Like, no, she dissed you, man. She dissed you. Like, no, I left she dissed us. Like, two of you get out of my office.
So you came here all because of constipation.
You need to shit. That's what you need.
I went to buy the stupid bread, which I had to eat because it was nasty.
Yeah.
And then it was the weekend of my expected period. And I was telling this guy, I already have pregnancy.
You already did one. After the doctor's one, you did again the next evening. Then you're not like,
Yeah.
So and I remember that usually when you do it and it's negative, like for some time you'll be down and then you pick up, but it's always bothering me when you're down. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
you
there
know
was
what?
even one time I cried.
Yeah,
on my way to work. I was sad for many reasons. I was sad because I'm not pregnant. I'm sad because I don't feel good and I don't know what the problem is.
Friday was when your period started, or 2 days after your period should have started.
The
So
deadline of
Tuesday.
my period was supposed to be Saturday.
Yeah.
So you were like, I should just wait
Till the evening.
till Sunday morning before I do the test.
Yeah.
But I was like, bruh.
Saturday morning, you're like, you want to? I was like, no, don't do this. Don't do it in the morning.
I did it in the morning. So, like.
So you made it till evening. Well, first of all, congratulations. Congratulations. No, shake my. You did well. You tried. You try. Now, I have to give you, I'm giving you flowers now. I mean, like, no.
Get out.
I want to do this pregnancy test. I remember that I bought 2 packs of pregnancy tests. Can you remember?
The hope was real, man.
I bought 2 packs
The
because I knew
hope
that
was real.
the tests were going to be flurries of tests back to back.
Yeah, I remember we cycled to the mall and when we were cycling, I just in my mind, I just knew I was pregnant. I really just felt like this cannot be, you know? So we got home and we were chilling. I think we were Netflixing or something.
Yeah.
And I had to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
So I was like, I beg, if this tomorrow test.
I remember I just disappeared.
I just disappeared and I went to do the test.
I didn't know that you were actually going to do the test.
And I saw 2 lines.
I still remember in my mind where I was standing when you came out.
Of course, I remember 2 now.
Standing in front of the table,
Yeah.
the work table, and then you just came.
No, you standing in front of the bed. Then you came to the work table.
Yeah. You were so excited. You were like, "I'm pregnant." And me, I was in disbelief because for 2 reasons. First one was like,
you don't want me to hype it and then it's not
yeah,
positive.
because I didn't want to hype it and then I'll now be the one to now come and start trying to comfort you and all that. It was surprising. You get?
Yeah. So, but do you know the funny thing? Like, I'm a professional pregnancy test taker. That was my. I think it's so many. You remember? In Nigeria, I think it's so many. I was so sure that I could see the 2 lines. I never seen 2 lines before.
How many?
Did I count? I used to have like a really period, 28 days, gay. But after when I got a little older, I started, doing it.
+1, +2.
+2 days. But pata 31, day 31, if my period has not come, it's something is up. It had never even happened before. So that was day 31. I just needed to know.
It took like an hour first of all for it to sink in that it was for real,
But we were just telling me, calm down.
I was saying, because baby, you were hysterical. Like she came.
I was not hysterical.
I'm telling you, baby, you were. You're like,
I was not hysterical.
You were so happy.
Of course, I was happy.
No, yeah.
Like, calm down. Like,
I was saying calm down because
like.
I remember like in the past so many times like we've had this test and it's like negative and all that. And this one when it's positive, I was like, let it be, because also like you were so eager, you were doing this test back to back and all that. So I was like, hope it's not
finally
possible.
Passed the test.
Yeah, do you get what I mean? So I think that was what was wrong with me at first. But when it began to dawn on me, I don't know, something inside, I just felt strange at that point in time, because when you have like out of body experience, kind of like living in a dream. So I needed to process, and I'm a slow processor. Like even when I first came, remember I told you like I'm a slow processor. Like I process things slowly. When like major events happen, good or bad, my body goes into like what's it called, autopilot. So like I function, but
you're
it's
still
after
processing.
the fact. Yeah, I'm still internally I'm processing, but I'm functioning. All I need to do. After the fact, I'm now like, it can take me 2 months, it can take me 3 months, it can take me 6 months, So that was it with me. So at first I was like, you know what? She was like, oh, we need to share. I was like, please, this is very like, this is the first time it's happening to us, right? As a family and as a couple. So let's
when
savor
saying
the
we
moment.
need to share, I wasn't like, oh, let's go carry megaphone.
Oh,
I just wanted
no,
to tell my family
and all. Yeah, and which is valid, but I just needed to like, because when you tell family, there's also their own surprise and reaction and all that stuff, right? And for me to be able to handle that, I need to first at least handle my own in a bit, So I mean, in the night, for like the first like 2 or 3 days,
grizzly.
in the night I'll just wake up. I'll just be like, not worrying, but just imagining like how life is going to change.
Yeah.
At least in the first 3 nights in a row, I don't think I slept so much. Like I'll wake up early, and I wake up in the morning at 5, right? But at 1 o'clock I'll be awake. I'll just be like, my mind is just picturing like things that are to come and things like that. I think that power of agreement is really something that couples should be very aware of.
Yeah.
because I felt like I was the one holding us back. I
Yeah,
don't know
because
in what way.
we didn't agree.
That
Like,
we were
I
ready.
wanted it quicker than him, but he was just like, he was just not ready. And until we were both on the same page, it didn't happen. But the moment, we just like, okay.
Yeah,
it was like, boom.
There was no, I remember it was very important that there was no prompting on you. Like, you didn't prompt me like, babe, how far now? I came to you like, I was just like, babe, you know what, I think I'm ready. Can you remember? I remember that day like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, and then I remember before we got married, there was this senior couple of ours that they counseled us, they just told us that the power of agreement is something that has worked for them, and they're pretty successful, you know. And we always remember that story that they told us, and the example of their life, you know. So this is proof that the power of agreement as a couple is very powerful.
There's so much you can do once you both agree, and not just agree, but agree like in prayer as well. Yeah, you know, it's like marriage is spiritual. I didn't realize. I think we used to say, "More marriage is spiritual" when we were not married. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool story. You know, all these married people have come again, trying to tension us, but for real, marriage is spiritual. It really is.
Yeah, and I think everything actually in life is spiritual.
Yeah. But then, like, we're also, in as much as I was really eager, we're also really glad that it took this long. Super glad it took this long, because I can't imagine this pregnancy in Nigeria.
And then also moving and all that stuff.
With the heat. Because right now...
your body's like a combustion engine.
My body,
you're always hot.
With the heat, with the craziness, like everything will be annoying me. The loudness, the... people's comments about the changes in your body. I think we're also in a better place financially. We're in a better place spiritually. We're in a place where we have better healthcare.
Like, we had this thing where our word was digging deeper roots. So we went through the Bible in a year. We're particular about reading the Bible every day and praying and all that. And then at the beginning of this year, the word was year of fruitfulness, you know. And it was like, okay, you're digging deep roots. The roots are still being going deeper, but now now it's time to also bear fruits while the roots grow. So it's amazing that we're actually bearing fruit.
That's our story, basically. This is one long ass video. There's still no way to capture everything, you know. But it's been a very interesting journey for us. One that we're extremely grateful for. We're really blessed, like, guy.
So it's been nice, like, jumping back on YouTube to do this kind of video, and I think we should figure out how to
trying to be more consistent. To be honest, it's hard. YouTube is a lot of work. Instagram is just easy, like, turnover, but YouTube is like you film, you edit, this and that, you know. So, but this is one of the things I want to do during this time, especially now that I'm like off work on my maternity leave. As much as I can, I'm just gonna be here and try to create more content more consistently, at least maybe once a week, you know, at least to do that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you watch up to this point, it's like, I don't know, like, wow, thank you.
Thank you
for watching.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully I'll see you guys in our next one. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button right down below. It's free, so why not? Don't you want to see our beautiful faces again? But I can't guarantee that he will be here every time, but you for sure see me. Don't worry, you'll see me.
Okay, guys.
But thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.